Freeholder Amoroso.
Here.
Freeholder Gans. Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Here.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Here.
Freeholder Voss. Freeholder Zer.
Here.
Chairman Sullivan.
Here. Evidence of a quorum is present. Will everyone please rise for our Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Henning, will you lead us tonight in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
Will
all.
everyone kindly remain standing? I ask that we remain standing as we remember two members of the community who contributed so much to Bergen County and beyond. We remember North Arlington's Mayor, Joseph Bianchi, age 77, who passed away last Wednesday, a few months shy of finishing his first term as mayor. Mayor Bianchi had served in the United States Army and was a member of North Arlington's Hose Company No. 1. It was in this capacity that he responded to the World Trade Center following the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001. According to reports, the mayor died of an illness related to his service at Ground Zero. He is survived by his wife Kathy and their three children. We also remember Julie Levinson, formerly of Teaneck, who died on October 4th. Mrs. Levinson was a staunch Democrat who served as a legislative aide for former State Senator Ray Garamosone, and current Senate Majority Leader Loretta Weinberg. She served on the board and was a past president of Shelter Our Sisters, now known as the Center for Hope and Safety, and a member of the board of directors of the Bergen Youth Orchestra. She is survived by her son Kenneth and his wife and her daughter Maya. I would ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to ask Freeholder Tonelli to comment on his and North Arlington's mayor, the late Joseph Bianchi.
Thank you, Chairman. So when you serve with people and spend the kind of time required as an elected official, you really get to know the people you serve with. I served with Joe on the Borough Council for 3 terms and always found him to be a gentleman who argued his point strongly but fairly. He was passionate yet open to discussion and compromise on any issue. Joe's top priority was doing what was best for North Arlington, not his party or special interests. Joe was a business owner. Pal Joey's Barbershop that he started in 1965. He spent decades serving the community as a member of the volunteer fire department and a member of the planning and zoning boards. Joe was especially fond of helping the children in the community and was on the forefront of making sure the borough resources went to the recreation programs that would benefit the young people of our community. He was approachable and greeted everyone with a smile, whether it was at the barbershop on Ridge Road or at Borough Hall. Joe was a rare breed in politics today. He didn't concern himself with climbing the ladder to the next political position. He was happy doing what he was doing, serving the residents of North Arlington as their mayor. Rest in peace, Joe. And I'd just like to take a second to thank the emergency squad, the fire department, and North Arlington Police Department for sending Joe off in such a respectful and honored way. They really outdid themselves on Monday during the funeral service. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder Tonelli. On a happy note, I have the distinct honor and privilege to call forward a man we all know and respect deeply. His commitment to the safety and well-being to all of us gives us great comfort to everyone in this room, as well as the nearly 1 million residents of Bergen County. Tonight, Brian Henning will be sworn in as the Bergen County Fire Marshal for an impressive 5th time. Brian began his service to Bergen County as a volunteer in the Lyndhurst Fire Department in 1981 and rose through the ranks to become chief of that department. His talents did not go unrecognized. After many years as the fire safety director for Solomon Incorporated in Rutherford, excuse me, Brian was tapped to become our fire marshal in 2005. It is a testament to his success that so many of his friends, family, and colleagues are here to witness him take the oath of office once again. And who better to administer this oath tonight than our own county executive, James Tedesco, who happens to also be a fellow firefighter of the Paramus Fire Department, and who I suspect would have a hard time deciding which role he is most proud of. County Executive, will you please step forward to address the room and swear in Brian for his 5th term?
Thank you, Chairman, members of the board. I want to take this opportunity to thank the members of the board. This is, for those of you that don't know, this is an appointment of the Freeholder Board. It's not an appointment of the county executive. While we discuss things and we have a mutual dialogue amongst us on the appointments, this appointment is solely on the basis of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. I was very pleased to be able to say that I wanted to recommend Brian again for reappointment, but very pleased that the board is taking the action tonight to confirm their appointment as County Fire Marshal. You heard the chairman read about Brian's history, but while that's history from the Lyndhurst side and the time that he's been here, the county fire marshal is, and for those that are in the emergency response community, you know how important it is for us here in the county. We're the largest county in the state of New Jersey. We have more buildings than any other county, and Brian's responsible for the safety of the fire safety for those buildings. Not only that, but many times during the wee hours of the morning, or on Saturdays and Sundays, Brian gets called, because when we have a facility that's owned by Bergen County that has an alarm or has a problem, the fire marshal's called, and Brian responds immediately, and he helps us in the fire service. I could speak from intimate knowledge about that, because as the fire chief in Paramus, twice I had the ability to work with Brian, because we have 1 or 2 small buildings that Bergen County owns in Paramus. We actually own the 2 largest, the college and the hospital. So for me, it was a friendship that I developed a long time ago. And when I became a freeholder and then the county executive, having the opportunity to work hand in hand with Brian was just a remarkable feat for me. And that's why it's so pleasurable and so such an honor to be able to have him ask me to swear him in. And so I thank my fellow firefighters and first responders for coming out tonight in support of Brian. But know, as you all do, that he's there working for us. When I really say 24/7, 365, he does that. So Brian, if you'd come forward with your family, I'd ask the chair of the Freeholder Board to come down and join us. You're going to raise your right hand, and you're going to put your left hand on the Bible. And this is a family Bible that Brian's using tonight.
It's our father's, Roy, his Sunday school Bible from 1931.
So Brian, you're going to repeat after me. I, Brian Henning,
I, Brian Henning,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people.
under the authority of the people.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties of fire marshal
all the duties of fire marshal
of the County of Bergen
of the County of Bergen
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Stay up here with us. Stay up here with us.
So I'd ask my freeholders to come down and join me as we are going to present you with a certificate of commendation. And it reads, honoring Brian Henning, Fire Marshal, Bergen County, in honor and recognition of your reappointment to the position of the Bergen County Fire Marshal. We congratulate and thank you for the outstanding job you continue to do on behalf of the nearly 1 million residents of Bergen County. Presented October 17, 2018, by the Board of Chosen Freeholders. Congratulations.
And then we'll let him say something.
Let's get some pictures up here.
You stand in the middle. Why don't you stand next door? And then we'll have the freeholders join us. David, where are you, David?
Brian, would you like to say a few words?
Sure. You have to excuse my voice, it's kind of raspy. First of all, I would like to thank the county executive for all his support the last 4 years. Being a fellow firefighter, he gets it, and you've truly made my job easier the last 4 years, and thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. And thank you for swearing me in. Also, I'd like to thank the county freeholders. Thank you very much for the reappointment. Appreciate it. You know, it's always great to get the support, and I will continue to do the best job I'm able to keep everybody safe, not only the employees of the county, but the residents of the county. To my sister Barbara and my brother-in-law Steve, thank you for making the trip up from Ocean County. Appreciate it. To all my friends out in the audience, thank you very much for coming up. To all the brother firefighters of the county, thank you very much for coming up, and the Fire Prevention Bureau. I appreciate it, appreciate everyone here, all right? And, you know, to me, it's the greatest job in the world, right? Yep, greatest job in the world. It's the greatest paying job in the world, let me tell you that. The greatest non-paying job is being a Lyndhurst volunteer firefighter, and that's what started me on my career. Joining the Lyndhurst Volunteer Fire Department in 1981, I got 2 careers out of it, first with Solomon as Fire Safety Director, and now as the County Fire Marshal. And last but not least, I have a chief and 2 ex-chiefs from the Lyndhurst Volunteer Fire Department here. Gentlemen, thank you very much. It means a lot. You always remind me to make sure to tell everybody that I'm from Lyndhurst, I'm a volunteer fireman. And right, Steve?
You got it.
All right, Steve. Says make sure you tell them you're from Lyndhurst and you're a volunteer fireman in Lyndhurst, because you said if my head gets too big, remember where I started. And my head will never get too big, thanks to you guys. So once again, thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. It's a joy to work for the county, and you know, just to keep everyone safe. And I really love my job. And thank you, everybody, for all your support. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
On behalf of the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders, I'm sure everyone's going to want to say a few things, but to have the job for as long as you do and as long as you have means you must be doing something right. So you've made it through all different administrations. We really appreciate everything you do. For the record, Tinelli lives in North Arlington, not Lyndhurst. Do not mix them up. We can't do that, right? Yeah, South Bergen is good. But in all seriousness,
Next year's gonna be rough.
thank you for everything you do, and we on the Freeholder Board appreciate it. I'm going to give my colleagues to say a few nice things. But before we do that, I'm going to ask our county executive to speak on Resolution 1052 tonight, which I think is fitting in front of all the fire personnel. So if you don't mind, County Executive, I will turn this over to you, sir.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm honored tonight to thank the Board of Chosen Freeholders for putting a resolution forward that is a resolution in support of Assembly Bill Number 135 and Senate Bill Number 1261. Those two bills are bills that are resulted out of the Avalon fire in Edgewater. For the last 4 years, I was 2 weeks into my term as county executive when that fire broke out. And the mayor was 2 weeks into his term when the fire broke out. And resulting out of that fire, we realized that that fire was the impetus for needed changes in lightweight wood construction units. And for the last 4 years, I've been an advocate to change the laws, the construction laws, both from a sprinkler side and also from a compartmentation side, so that we have compartmentization of units so that the fire can't spread horizontally and vertically. And I'm happy to say that the two bills that are in the Assembly and Senate now have the support of the FMBA and also the concrete industry. And that is critical, because now we don't have people fighting. And I addressed the Freeholder Board earlier at the work session and thanked them. The FMBA was actually here to thank the Freeholder Board. So the resolution that they will be voting on tonight is supporting these two bills in the Assembly. And I've added my position as county executive to the bills in Trenton as a supporter of the bills. And I'm willing to testify if they want me to come down and testify again, which I've done a few times already. But what an appropriate night to talk about this. We have somebody that his life has been, or his adult life, has been about fire safety, fire education, fire prevention. I have many, many of my family members here in the fire service that I know support this kind of legislation, because not only is it going to protect the people in the building that live there, it's going to protect every one of us that have to go in and fight that fire. And we're just really lucky that no one got seriously hurt in that fire. But this will certainly go a long way in preventing such a tragic fire that we had in Edgewater. And, you know, we don't really see it, but there's been many of these lightweight wood construction fires throughout the country. And here we are, the state of New Jersey, taking action to prevent that type of tragic fire. So I want to thank my colleagues on the Freeholder Board for putting forth this resolution. As I said to you before, not only are you making the difference in saving people's lives, but you're saving potentially the lives of many of the men and women that are sitting out here tonight. So on behalf of my family, the fire service, the men and women, and the people of Bergen County and the people of New Jersey, thank you so much for taking this initiative and supporting these two bills.
So, Brian, before you run away, I was just handed a,
I'm not running away unless you tell me to. I'm up here until you tell me to run away.
I was just handed a letter by a representative from Congressman Pascrell's office that he would like to present to you, and it says, "Dear Mr. Henning, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you on your reappointment as Bergen County Fire Marshal. On this momentous occasion, please accept this letter of special congressional recognition. Our nation's first responders embody the utmost bravery in their selfless protection of our communities. Your job as a fire marshal requires both hard work and discipline. Most importantly, your dedication to public service is what makes our community strong. Support our first responders is my top priority in Congress as I continue to work in close partnership with members of Emergency Services Management. As chairman of the Bipartisan Congressional Fire Services Caucus, I understand that fire departments are an integral part of our emergency management system. Once again, congratulations on this achievement, and I wish you continued success as you continue this important role. As your friend in Congress, please know that my door is always open to you, and I look forward to working together. If I can be of any assistance, please do not hesitate to contact me. Sincerely, Bill Pasquarello, Jr., Member of Congress. Would you like to come up and get a picture? So, no? Want to get a picture so you can give it back to your office and they know you were here? Okay.
National Fire Week, the one that Jim spoke to, and his.
Are we gonna have comments first?
At this time, I'd like to open the floor to comments from our freeholders. Freeholder Moroso, you have any?
Sure. I have two things to say. Because we have worked so closely with County Executive Tedesco, we have a special place in our heart for firefighters. And because we have been schooled by Freeholder Tonelli and our county chairman, we have a special place in our heart for South Bergen, especially Lyndhurst, especially North Arlington. We love you guys.
Fire Marshal, first of all, thank you for correcting the record today and making sure that my colleagues are well aware that my office does meet the fire code for the amount of interns that I had this summer.
Did he do it?
I want to thank you so much for the distinguished way that you have served all of us here in Bergen County and all of us who rely upon you so integrally for our safety. So thank you so much, and we look forward to many, many more years in the future of you serving us in this capacity as well.
So before we continue, we just want everyone to know that Freeholder Zor leads the league in interns, and at one point, we could barely get into her office, so we told her we were gonna call the fire inspector on it. So he was nice enough to come today and play a little joke on it, so thank you for that. Freeholder Tadali?
Thank you, Chairman. So the chairman was right on 2 counts. So I am from North Arlington, but I did marry a Lyndhurst girl, and I spend most of my time either at Mount Carmel Church in Lyndhurst or at my grandson's house on New Street. So, Brian, I want to congratulate you. The second thing where the chairman was correct is that in this climate, to be able to survive so many administrations, it's just an, I guess, a tribute to you and a testament to the job that you're doing, that they look beyond anything, beyond politics, beyond anything else, to see that you're doing a great job, and as we did, and we know that you're going to continue to do the same job that you've done all these years, and I want to wish you all the best safety, especially to all our firefighters and all our first responders. Just stay safe, and the county's committed to doing whatever we can to help keep all our law enforcement and our fire safety EMS safe out there. So good luck. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Freeholder. Anybody else? Freeholder Voss?
Brian, I want to commend you on the wonderful, wonderful job that you've done for 5 terms, which is really amazing. And I am especially indebted to all the volunteer firemen because for 10 years I served as the fire commissioner in my town, Fort Lee, and I learned all about all the things that you need and all about fire trucks and firehouses and Scott packs and all the things. So anytime any of you ever need a mouth to speak up on your behalf, you have the county executive, and you certainly have me, because you do wonderful things. Not only do you fight fires, but you save people from floods and from all kinds of emergencies. So God bless you and stay safe. And Brian, you're the best.
Freeholder Gans, I'm sorry.
As the only person on this board who has voted for Brian each of the 5 times and has
For you.
been appointed, I congratulate you on your service and look forward to serving with you for many more years. Thank you.
thank you very much for everything you do, for your commitment, your dedication to the county. Although this is my first time voting, just to hear all the great things that you've done, and I want to also thank all the firefighters and all first responders for everything you do for the county of Bergen. Thank you so much.
Thanks again. So this is your 5th term?
That's unbelievable.
15 years? You hold on to the job like the Pope there. Good job. That's an Archie Bunker line. Sure.
It's a team effort. I get a lot of support from everyone.
Excellent.
I want to bring that out.
Thank you. Okay, so there was a request by Freeholder Zor to go out of order and take these 3 resolutions and put them on non-consent and vote on them now. So would you like to make that motion, Freeholder?
Yes, Chairman, if we could take Resolution 1045, 1047, recognizing National Fire Prevention Week, and 1052, which supports the Senate and Assembly bills that the county executive advocated for on the record, that would be wonderful.
I would second that,
There's a
Chairman.
second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. So let's have a roll call on, if this is proper, 1045, 1047, and 1052. Thank you. Roll call?
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, resolutions 1045, 1047, and 1052 all pass.
And just for the record, the Freeholder made a resolution to take it out of order and also made the motion to vote on them. So they're both,
Thank you.
both by Freeholder Zor, both by Freeholder Tinelli.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Do you want to take a recess, or?
I think we should plow ahead.
Okay. We'll now have the hearing of the general public with a 3-minute time limit in effect in accordance with the Bergen County Freeholder bylaws. The board attorney will keep the time. When the time of the speaker expires, the board attorney will announce the time has expired. Please fill out a slip of paper with your name, address, and general topic of which you wish to speak about. May I have a motion to open the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Our first speaker tonight will be Joseph Dunsey.
Hello, everyone. A few weeks ago, I ended up getting arrested and spending a night in the county jail. I had a bandana on me when I entered the jail, but the next day when the facility had me and several of the other inmates go to the room where we get our stuff back, the employee in charge of getting our stuff back, giving us our stuff, neglected to give me the bandana. So I hope you guys can find it. And while you're talking to that employee, please ask him about the rude comment he made to one of the other prisoners. To his credit, the young man took the comment in stride because he knows that the arc of justice is long, but the arc of history is long, but it bends towards justice.
Thank you. Mr. Powers, Chuck Powers. Good evening, sir.
Just a personal comment for a moment before I speak in behalf of Bergen Grassroots. 1052, the resolution you folks just passed, is an incredibly important. We have been struggling for 4 years, 5 years now, to get hold of that construction code and improve it. These two pieces of legislation in both the Assembly and the Senate are not perfect, as in fact the county executive said to you folks this afternoon. But they are such a substantial step forward that your support of it is really welcome. We need better protection. I've actually spent a good bit of time in working in a department that has people who really know how to assess construction material safety and durability. This is a really good step in the right direction, and thank you for supporting it tonight. I want to bring your attention to the fact that in the next 2 weeks, Bergen Grassroots will, again, in the 5th year, be drawing almost every candidate for election in the county into what will be 3 separate forums for the 3 offices up in this November election. For county executive, both candidates, Mr. Tedesco and Mr. Schmelz, will be next Monday night at 7:30 in the Teaneck Library Auditorium. And we hope that a large group of folks are there to hear these two candidates talk about this extremely important, the most important managerial role in the county. Following Monday night, the 29th, we will have 4 of the 5 candidates running for the 2 positions on your board, and both the Republicans and the Democrats. And that is, again, at 7:30, Monday, October 29th, again in the Teaneck Library Auditorium. We're looking forward to that being a really good session, as we believe the county executive one will be as well. More complex will be the one that we will do on November 1, because there will be 5 candidates running for the single position for now the full term, a year early, the full term for the county sheriff. And that will be on Thursday, November 1st at 7:30, again in the Teaneck Library Auditorium. Our forums are usually, well, in the first place, we're going to be live streaming them, and we will be also making sure that the full forums are on our website. If you want to know more about what I just talked to you about, you can go to the Bergen Grassroots website or to the Bergen Grassroots Facebook. It is a nonpartisan organization. We will be functioning in a very nonpartisan way to try to make sure that the electorate of this county knows who it is that will be running the county in the next few years. Thank you.
Just a question, Mr. Powers, did you receive confirmation from the Republicans that they're coming?
Yes, I understand that there was to have been last night a freeholder forum. The League of Women Voters was going to have had that. I am very confident I'm staying in very active contact with either directly with candidates or with their surrogates who are actually managing their campaigns. I am very confident that all of what I just talked about will be there, and we will again be able to draw the participation of the full range of candidates for this election.
Okay, well, I hope so, because Freeholder
It's really important. Yes.
Freeholder, Zora, and Tenelli were ready the other night, and they were canceled at the last minute.
Last night they were going to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
and
Less than 24 hours notice.
so I would hope that if you are still planning on having it, you'll get confirmation.
Well,
I'm sure Tenelli
I
and
actually
Zora are ready
sat
to
down
go.
with the 2 Republican candidates the other day to make sure that I had that commitment. So
Okay, thank you,
I'm quite
Mr. Powers.
confident it'll be there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know you guys will be there. David Braun. How are you, sir?
Hello, good evening. David Brown, B-R-A-U-N, of Leonia, Chair of the Leonia Historic Preservation Commission. The Leonia Historic Preservation Commission is the consultative body for the Borough of Leonia that is responsible for safeguarding the use of land in the borough and the physical improvements on that land, which are of a unique historic nature and as such contribute to the well-being of our residents. Concerns around well-being are the standard ones that relate to the desirability of life in general and specifically to life where we, Bergen County residents, live it. The realms of the educational, intellectual, spiritual, the environmental, sustainable, the commercial, economic, and the social are what we and all other similarly placed decision-making bodies must consider as we evaluate potential change. Indeed, the Leonia Historic Preservation Commission has Leonia in its name, not Teaneck, and has historic in its name, not prehistoric, but we deal with the Overpeck too, and even with the Triassic era. The Leonia Historic Preservation Commission will soon be renewing and reinstalling historic markers on 3 sites on Fort Lee Road, where those markers were first displayed in the 1930s and 50s. One of them educates the passerby about the Overpeck's history. Another refers to the composition of this region's land since its evolution between the Triassic era and the Ice Age. As such, we feel moved and justified to share our view with you freeholders, a view arrived at unanimously by our 8 commissioners at our October 8th meeting, also because we as immediate neighbors of the area in question are beneficiaries of the county's open space that will otherwise be commercialized and developed, never to be undeveloped, one might presume. The Leonia Historic Preservation Commission disapproves of the development, read the removal, the cancellation, the destruction of open space that constitutes our county parkland for what we understand is the commercial benefit of one private entity and in service of one narrow theme, mock dinosaur fright exhibits that are likely to be visited no more than once in the lifetime of the visitor. and at a cost per visitor and per parked car that we would expect no publicly owned park to host. Any income the county has reported that it will make from this otherwise private enterprise has struck us as negligible. From a cost-benefit perspective, it is certainly unjustified for advantageous, free recreational space for human and wild animal benefit to be curtailed in favor of a business venture that, in fact, is not ensured to succeed. To repeat, once developed, land doesn't get undeveloped, unless, of course, a new ice age or similar cataclysm is upon us. Sticking to the here, the now, and the foreseeable future, the land of Overpeck Area 2, untouched by the risky business endeavor under proposal, benefits our minds, souls, pocketbooks, personal and collective health, regional landscape, and general environment much more robustly.
So as the head of this, what was your plans for that area?
I don't have the plan for that
You
area.
don't have any plan?
No, I don't have,
Okay, all right, I was just curious.
no, I don't have a plan for that area.
So you haven't looked ahead to what could be done, so the county owns the property, thank you. And we're gonna develop the majority of this land for open space. Right now, I'm gonna go through this again like I go through it for the last 5 meetings. Right now, there's no one allowed to be on this plot of land. It needs to be remediated. The county now has taken the task of going to remediate it. There's gonna be plenty and plenty of open space. We are not out there to destroy open space. As a matter of fact, Bergen County has a lot more open space, and Freeholder Zora's got the numbers for the open space, and I'm sure she'll share them with you. But we do a magnificent job of preserving open space, and we're not here to destroy this whole parcel of land. There's gonna be a little cutout of land that's gonna be used for this display. And I continue to hear that no one goes to these. My wife is a grade school teacher.
But I didn't say that.
Okay,
Was that clear?
I didn't say you. I didn't say you.
Okay.
My wife is a grade school teacher. She constantly takes her children on field trips to see these things, as do a lot of her colleagues. So I just wanted to get that out in the open. I thank you for your comments, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Freeholder, Zora, you want to just tell everyone how much open space we have in the county and parklands?
We have 9,335 acres in our park system, 6,441 of which are forests. Do you want me to go on, or is that gonna?
I think that's
Okay.
good.
Chairman, can I,
And I know Mr. Tonelli wants to talk about the penny, so go right ahead.
about the what?
Our open space funds, right?
No, what I was gonna say is regardless of what goes in that location, it needs to be cleaned up. So as it appears right now, it will not appear once it's remediated. So everyone has to understand that we're going in there, the county's going there and remediating that area regardless of what gets put there afterwards. Everyone thinks that it's just gonna be left alone and we're just gonna go away. That's not the case. That needs to be remediated, and there's some extensive work that needs to be done in there. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Christopher Hestbrink.
Thank you. I'm Christoph Hesterbrink. I'm also from Leonia. I'm chair of the Environmental Commission. And I'm not as eloquent as my friend David here, but let me first state, I'm a big fan of Bergen County. I'm privileged that both my daughters had the opportunity to go to Bergen County schools. They're fantastic. I think the county government overall, from what I see, is doing a great job.
Thank you.
I mean, what happened to Overpeck Park compared to where it was is amazing, right? Having said all that, and thank you for your comments, Mr. Chairman, there, I understand it needs to be remediated, it should be remediated. I don't think anybody has an objective to that. And maybe it's a matter of communication, but what we hear is there's a parking lot coming for 400 cars. And then you put that together with a beautiful open space and say, expletives, right? How can we put a parking lot in here? How can we put a commercial business in there? And maybe if you could help communicate what the purpose is better, that could prevent a lot of the discussion we're having right now. Everybody is for remediation. We all know what's underneath that ground. And what I do want to state, though, is that my feeling, and probably the feeling of many others, is that this park is for recreation. It's not necessarily, I mean, our taxpayers' money, right? It's not a revenue-generating business, at least from my point of view, and it shouldn't be. I have no objections to things like a carnival which comes in and leaves, right? Or when there's a Korean food festival, that's fantastic. They come in, they go, they use the park, they're part of the community. A permanent commercial installation for profit, love it for the jobs, but not in a park, please, right? That's it.
Thank you for your comments.
Yeah.
And it's 300 cars, not 400. It'll be a 300, thank you. Mary Walsh. Hi, Mrs. Walsh. How are you?
Hackensack. Do you want me to spell my name? Mary Walsh, W-A-L-S-H. So, you know, I'm from the North Jersey Sierra Club, and we heard that Mr. Torino took Mr. Chinelli out into the woods to see.
We're not supposed to be on that property.
Oh,
really.
okay. But we did that. There's no sign, so. As I was coming here earlier, I saw a billboard near Route 4 that said, "Everyone has a duty to do good." And people like yourselves who are in a position of authority have the power to do a great deal of good. So the question is, in this case, what is good? In a world gone crazy with excessive heat, floods, pollution, cancer, every little bit of woods makes a difference. It's no longer a luxury, but a necessity to keep as much wooded area as we can. In your grant application of 2017, which I have on my phone, it says, the overall goal of the proposed projects is to enhance and preserve natural open space for both wildlife and the park's neighbors and visitors by providing opportunities for passive recreation, things like walking. So this was your grant application from last year. So now you have all this wildlife that's there, and the environmental assessment that was part of that grant application included green frogs, bullfrogs, snapping turtles, eastern box turtles, red fox, white-tailed deer, coyote, and wild turkey. So now if you destroy that section, even if you destroy part of that section in Area 2, the wildlife doesn't know that they can leave and come back. They're gone. And in fact, in your part of your application, you point out, it says point blank, the wildlife will be adversely impacted in the upper area. So I'm thinking about this saying that the Christophers have, which is, it's better to light one candle than to curse the darkness. I'm thinking that, and I'm hoping that you will light the candle in this case and not put in a parking lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walsh. Layla Charney Squitieri. Squitieri? Squitieri. That's close.
L-E-A-R-N-E-Y-S-Q-U-I-T-I-E-R-I. Right. I too am from Leonia and have a concern about the proposed dinosaur park. All of Overpeck was reclaimed land that the county, and it's a jewel of the county as far as we're concerned. It is used from early morning until when it's done, not only for the big events, but people are walking there, bringing their families there, playing there, having sports there. And the possibility of having trails both through the park and through the woods would be a plan that people have considered in the past and would be much more in keeping with the need for a park. As far as we're concerned, there's a tremendous need for green space and for parkland, and that particularly in Bergen County, where we are one of the highest population density of the state of New Jersey, I believe. Maybe it's something along those lines. Now, right now, the concern is both for the wildlife as well as for people, because with the 300 or 400 cars coming on a regular basis, using land that is public, that is supposed to be for everyone, that you don't have to pay an admission fee to go to Overpeck County Park, which is a joy. That means everybody goes, not just the people with money, but the people who don't have so much money. And that is the beauty, the democracy of parkland, as far as I'm concerned. But the other thing is, it's the wildlife that really is imperiled now, and they have just returned to the area. We are part of a much larger world where we could maybe do our part as a county to be able to do something about the kind of trend of global warming. I think that's what we do on a local level. I think that would be good. And I think that adding, reducing the numbers of cars as it is, we do accommodate a lot of people, and it's a glorious park, and it's a jewel, and thanks to all of you for maintaining it. The other thing is we are just a couple of miles away from the Mall of America. We are also right alongside the proposed water park. So Bergen County is building in Fort Lee, Cliffside Park, a little bit in Leonia, but all of the towns around us are building tremendously. The traffic problems are enormous. Every Sunday for all afternoon, there's traffic. So we're kind of promoting once again, or talking about once again, bringing a lot more traffic to an area that's already very flooded. I think that the days of theme parks are really over for the past 47 years, when they closed Palisades Amusement Park and started to build the high-rises that we have in North Jersey. So I am really imploring you to reconsider this plan and to think about that we have a lot of other ways that we can spend. We can use this without bringing a private company into public lands and public parkland.
3 minutes, ma'am. Freeholder Tonelli would like to, thank you.
Thank you.
Freeholder Tonelli?
So just 3 quick points. One is, we've had a lot of people come to our meetings telling us to reconsider. There is no plan before this board to consider at the moment. There's nothing for us to review, there's nothing for us to consider or reconsider. The other issue is, the remediation is gonna dramatically impact the natural wildlife that's there, and basically to rebuild the infrastructure. So wherever they're remediating is gonna be dramatically affected by this. I mean, even Don was telling me that today. We had a long conversation, and he understands that when they remediate, it's gonna be mounds of dirt, and we're gonna have to wait for things to end up growing back. So we have to remember that area, no matter what gets put there, is gonna be dramatically impacted with the remediation. And lastly, you talk about it being free. Those trails will be accessible where that area is not supposed to be being walked in now. Those trails, when they're upgraded, will be open to the public, and people will be able to enjoy those trails. So people have to understand, once it's remediated and fixed, it's going to be just an added bonus to the already great Overpeck County Park. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder Clyden.
It's great to see you guys again. I just wanted to briefly mention that if I'm not here before the next meeting, that you have a wonderful, blessed Halloween and spooky Halloween, and
Oh, it will be.
a very nice election day, especially for 2 of you. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. May I have a motion to close the meeting to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Our administrator would like to say a few words.
Just again, thank you, Chairman, and just with regard to the proposed potential development of Area 2, there has been no final plan that has been submitted to the administration, and there are various considerations, but just with regard to some of the aspects of the actual plan. So the total area, and I may be off by an acre or two, is maybe 76 or 77 acres. The area of it proposed for the dinosaur park would be about 11 and a half of those acres. The area that had been proposed for the potential parking lot would be 2.5 of those acres. The areas that would be considered, whether it's one central area for parking lot or whether it were divided amongst the Area 2 area, is proposed to be on those areas that have to be remediated that were previously the garbage dump areas. What has been proposed by the consultants, if those parking lots are going to be put there is a DEP plan where this would actually be a bioswale area, where it would be a collection point for runoff water, and it would serve other ecological purposes rather than just being a parking lot. Part of the discussion that the administration is considering is if the park is to go there, there would be an area for parking that would serve areas 1 and 2 of Over Park that would be available for users of the park, and a separate lot that would be designated for the dinosaur park if it does in fact go there. So people wouldn't be required to pay for parking if they're just going there to use the trails and things for the area 2. What's been described as development, there's actually no development that's happening there. Whether the dinosaurs go there or not, the area is going to subsist of trails and just natural flora and fauna. If the dinosaurs go there, they would just be inserted amongst the flora and fauna, not unlike what currently exists on the Leonia side. So there are no final plans with regard to this, but the trails and other things that are planned for the area are going to go there whether the dinosaurs go there or not. So this is not a plan that's around the dinosaurs. This is a plan, first and foremost, to remediate Area 2, and the secondary consideration would be if any portion of that is going to be designated for the dinosaurs. But again, to reiterate, that portion that would be designated for the dinosaurs would not exceed 11.5 acres of the total 76 acres. The other consideration that I just wanted to bring out is with regard to the point that Freeholder Tonelli made, is the remediation is going to disturb the area, because as I've read the reports that have done and what DEP has required, is what used to be the garbage dump areas, you've had vegetation that has grown on top of that, which is unstable, which has to be removed and then put with clean fill and then flora and fauna to encourage that growth. Now, we have a consulting company that's called Biohabitats that the whole plan that they've put forward for the remediation is to be the least impactful on the wildlife that's there. And that has been a primary requirement for DEP, and that's been a primary requirement for the administration as well, that for the remediation to be done, it's going to be done in a fashion that is proposed to have the least impact on the wildlife. I'm no scientist by any stretch of the imagination, but as I read the reports with regard to it, a number of which that have been operated by, I believe, Sierra Club and an Audubon Society as well, so I believe you have these reports as well. But as you review those, you see it's based to be cycled out. So the intention is wildlife will have the opportunity to traverse to other areas that haven't been remediated yet. So as an area is remediated, hopefully the wildlife will not permanently leave, but kind of circulate within that area. And I'm putting that very basically with my limited knowledge of the area. So I just wanted to put that on the record with regard to some clarifications that there have been no final plans with regard to the area, but there's just certain aspects as we talk about development. There are no permanent structures or anything else that's going there. It would still be a grassy, natural area, and whether the dinosaurs get staked in various areas amongst that natural area is the full extent of it.
Thank you, Julian. I hope that clears up a lot of people's concerns. Okay, will the clerk please read the resolutions of the consent agenda?
The resolutions on the consent agenda are 1,008-18 through 1,044-18, 1,046-18, 1,048-18 through 1,051-18, 1,053-18 through 1,056-18.
Thank you. May I have a motion to accept the resolutions on the consent agenda as read
Move
by
the
the clerk?
consent agenda.
As read by the clerk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tonelli.
Yes.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zerk.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 7 ayes, the consent agenda is adopted.
Are there any resolutions pulled, postponed, or tabled? If so, will clerk please read?
There are none.
We'll now go on to our ordinances for second reading and adoption of ordinance 1826, 1834, and 1835. Will the clerk read the ordinance 1826 by title only, please?
1826 is an ordinance establishing a minority business enterprise, women business enterprise, and veteran-owned business set-aside and joint venture program for the County of Bergen. The proof of publication of the ordinance of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1826 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 28th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1826 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is open with a 5-minute time limit in effect to speak about ordinance 1826 only at this time. The board attorney will keep the time. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak on ordinance 1826? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1826?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on ordinance 1826? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1826 as was read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli.
Freeholder Tinelli had to attend to business, he's excused.
Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 6 ayes and 1 absent, 1826 is adopted and passes second reading.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1834 by title only?
1834 is a bond ordinance providing for the purchase and improvement of the real property located at 39 Hudson Street, Hackensack, New Jersey, by the County of Bergen, appropriating the aggregate amount of $4,200,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $4 million bonds or notes of the county to finance part of the cost thereof. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1834 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 28th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1834 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public hearing is open with a 5-minute time limit in effect to speak about ordinance 1834 only at this time. The board attorney will keep the time. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 1834? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on
So
ordinance
moved.
1834? Sorry, who made the motion?
I did.
Freeholder Voss, Freeholder, second by Freeholder Zur. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on 1834? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1834
So
as
moved.
is read by the clerk?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans. Sorry, Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tinelli is out. Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With 5 yeses, 2 absent, 1834 is adopted and does pass second read.
Thank you. Will the clerk please read ordinance 1835 by title only?
1835 is an ordinance appropriating $3 million available in the capital fund to provide for bridge and culvert improvements in the County of Bergen. The proof of publication of the ordinance notice of public hearing was published in accordance with the law and is on file in my office. A copy of the notice of hearing and ordinance number 1835 was duly posted pursuant to NJSA 40A:2-17 on Friday, September 28th, 2018.
May I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1835 to the public?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Public hearing is now open with a 5-minute time limit in effect to speak about ordinance 1835 only at this time. The board attorney will keep the time. Anybody wishing to be heard on ordinance 1835? Seeing none, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance 1835?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any board discussion on ordinance 1835? Seeing none, may I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1835 as read by the clerk?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Roll call, please.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Yes.
Freeholder Gans.
Aye.
Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Yes.
Freeholder Tenelli is absent. Freeholder Voss.
Yes.
Freeholder Zur.
Yes.
Chairman Sullivan.
Yes.
With six ayes, 1 absent, 1835 is adopted and passes second reading.
Thank you. Freeholder Gans had to step out for a moment, and I'd like to give him the opportunity. If the board would like to go back, back out of order and let Freeholder Gans vote on ordinance 1834.
I would cast my vote as an aye.
Okay, please note for the record. We'll go back, motion to go back in order.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now have Freeholder Committee reports. I ask that the reports be brief and responsive to committee business. Freeholder Zur, will you lead us, please?
Yes, and it was so kind of Freeholder Tonelli to cede me his time before he left.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
First of all, I want to, this week, actually, it was 2 weeks ago, we had our first GSA summit of all LGBTQ youth. I thought maybe we'd have 100 kids. It turned out we had 210 kids from 29 different high schools, and 44 different towns, all coming together to brainstorm about how to improve what they're doing at their different organizations, but most importantly, for them all to realize that they're not alone. These kids deal with more depression, more anxiety, higher suicide rates, and for us to bring them together, to realize they're part of a larger community, and to really move forward the way that we as a county embrace our LGBTQ youth was really something that was so powerful. And I'm so thankful to my aide, Tara Chatterjee, and my intern this summer, Allison Venturini, who really were the glue that pulled all of this together. Similarly, I attended the Gay Pride flag raising ceremony and the LGBTQ health fair at Valley Hospital. What amazing outreach that they are doing to also send the message loud and clear that they are embracing and caring for the needs of everyone in our community, and that they're taking very seriously the health care of the LGBTQ community. This week, I had the pleasure of speaking to Bergen Leeds and talking with seniors in Glenrock. It was great to engage with individuals who are so active and engaged in our community, both some who have not in the Teen Leads program from Ridgewood High School, who have yet to register to vote, and our seniors who've been living in our community for a lot of years to give a lot of feedback about where we need to be moving as a county. I had the real privilege of going to one of my favorite events, Ridgewood Access for All, where they celebrate the unique abilities of all of the members of their community, and the talents that these uniquely abled young people and adults showcased was so moving. It was such a touching day. And to see what Ridgewood does, it really setting the bar for how they should be embracing and not only providing access for all, but providing engagement for all, and really meeting the needs and recognizing the strength that those with differing abilities bring to their community is amazing. And similarly in Rutherford, I attended the rededication of the Kids Spot Park, which is an amazing park that was done in completely fundraised funds to build this amazing place where kids of all different abilities, all different challenges and non-challenges can play together. And it was really heartening to see once again the vision of a community, the strength of volunteers to bring a vision to execution, and the way that Rutherford is also embracing all of its residents. I went this morning to the Bergen County Business Networking and Nonprofit Showcase with the county executive, where it really connected the dots for a lot of different nonprofits so that they could network and figure out where they could potentially collaborate and work with businesses to see where they could partner to bring everybody together to move our vision forward as far as how we provide for those within our community. It was the first year this was done, and it was an amazing first step in fomenting that collaboration. We also had our job fair this week. We had the Bergen County Utilities Authority Environmental Grant Awards, where we gave out $1,000 awards to, I think it was 84 different high schools where I'm sorry, I'm getting long. But there was just a lot going on this week.
She
A
went
lot
to all
of,
of it.
there was a lot of, we celebrated the 40th anniversary of ADV. There was so much going on. I'm so proud of what this board does and what this board supports. And thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Sorry, I just wanted to leave something for some of the other Freeholders. Vice Chairwoman Ortiz.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd first like to congratulate Boswell Engineering for receiving the New Jersey Society of Municipal Engineers Road Improvement Award for the road improvement on Kinderkamak Road in Emerson. And it was important to me because I sat on that land use board for 8 years, and that project would not have been possible without the help of our county executive and the Freeholder board, because we've been wanting to do that project. It's the main thoroughbred from north and south for the Northern Valley, Pascack area, and having a train station there, multiple bus stops, school crossings. It was really important for us to do this, and I just want to thank everyone involved. It was New Jersey Transit, it was the Department of Transportation, the Borough of Emerson, and the County of Bergen, and I can't thank them enough for an unbelievable project. I also wanted to thank Cynthia Foster and the Department of Parks Division of Historic and Cultural Affairs. They held their 54th annual Art in the Park and Music concert. This is it's a great annual tradition that's held at Van Swan Park, where all the artists from the area, they're either amateur or professional, where they can showcase all their work, and everyone in the county comes together, even in the whole area of even New York, everyone that comes by, and they're able to see the art, they could purchase art, and it was just a great place to get together and enjoy our parks in Bergen County. So that was a great event, and I know Tracy touched on it. I also want to thank David Cohen and the Department of Alternative to Domestic Violence that do so much for the County of Bergen, for women and families, and even men, because they have great programs to educate our men, educate our children, and educate everyone with domestic violence. And I just thank them for all their programs and everything they do for the county. Thank you, Chairman. I'll cut it there. I can go on, but I will stop.
Thank you, Vice Chairwoman. Freeholder Boss.
Thank you, Chairman. I just have to echo what my colleagues have said, that Bergen County has really been in the forefront of so many programs that help people. The aid for domestic violence, people don't realize how prevalent it is and how many things we have for people who are uniquely challenged, either intellectually or physically. And I have to say special thank you to Dave Cohen and also to Jim Thieberry, who do so very much. One of the things that I was very excited about last week was in Fort Lee, we broke ground for the John Barrymore Theater, which will come to fruition in a year from now. And that's because Fort Lee was really the beginning of the film industry here in the United States. And we have several books out. Before Hollywood, there was Fort Lee, and I recommend it. And the thing is that the day after the groundbreaking, Governor Murphy came to Cresskill. And one of the things that is going to be a boon for New Jersey is that the government has restored tax credits for the film industry. When I was young, many movies were made here in my hometown of Fort Lee, but all over New Jersey. I can remember watching them film Goodfellas, and then the tax credits were rescinded, and then no television shows, no films were made. Now, many, many jobs are going to be created, and New Jersey is going to have a renaissance in terms of the film industry. We also celebrated, and I'm not Italian, but nobody mentioned Italian heritage. Oh, Mary, I'm sorry.
I'll get there.
Okay.
If I ever get called on.
The whole month, and Mary, I'm sure will tell you about the wonderful event we had. And also, this is Gay Pride Month, and so I also was at Valley Hospital, and it was really wonderful to see the programs that they have out there for the LGBTQ. I am very involved with literacy. I mean, I think that the most important thing in the world is to be able to read, because that opens up the whole world to you. And Project Literacy had its gala last Friday, And we had a wonderful program, and one of the people that we honored for the terrific work she does is Deborah Visconti, who is the CEO and president of Newbridge Hospital, and she has done fantastic things, not only in literacy, but making people aware of the medical need to be able to read and so many things. And we also recognize Bergen Community College, which started 50 years ago as one little single building and has now become one of the most wonderful educational institutions, not only in New Jersey, but I think in the United States. And we honored the college for all of the programs that they're putting forth. And Dr. Michael Redmond accepted the award on behalf of Bergen Community. And yesterday, I can't stand to see people being mistreated. And there are so many people in this country who have jobs where they're really not making a living wage. And yesterday, Tom and Jermaine and I walked with members of the SEIU labor union because they are being mistreated. And we have to be a voice to speak out for those who need a voice. And hopefully everything will work out well at Horizon House in Fort Lee because they're not treating their employees well. And just one more thing, because literacy is my thing. My Rotary Club, I have gotten them to become sponsors of Project Literacy, and we're having a big gala on this Friday, and the proceeds will be to help Project Literacy. So thank you very much, Chairman. I am finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Gans.
I'm going to defer my report, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Freeholder Amoroso.
Here I go. Okay. On Friday, October 5th, I spoke at the county's Italian-American flag raising. The food was great. Thank you, and Sarah, and others. And I remind you that when I was a young journalist, the Hackensack cops called me the girl reporter with the Irish face and the Italian name. On Thursday, October 11th, a number of us attended the stigma-free flag raising at Newbridge Medical Center. And then we headed off to the LGBTQ flag raising at Valley Hospital. We are so happy to acknowledge our communities. On Saturday, October 13th, as Tracy pointed out, a number of us attended the Ridgewood Access for All talent show and fashion show for our uniquely abled kids and adults. I was touched to the core by the twin 17-year-old brothers who sang Leonard Cohen's Alleluia. It was gorgeous. And the young ladies who salsa'd with their instructor, and they were so good. On Monday, October 15th, we celebrated, as has been said, the 40th anniversary of Alternatives to Domestic Violence. And we heard the jaw-dropping story of a woman who said she never believed she was abused because her husband was not physically violent to her, but she was so controlled, manipulated, and put down. And it was a story of victory that took many, many years to achieve. In line with that, I want to point out that tonight we approved a resolution in support of a state legislative bill that would revise victim compensation. On Thursday, October 16th, Freeholder Jermaine Ortiz and I attended the Bergen Community College faculty fall kickoff, and you've never seen professors boogie as they did. And tonight, I attended the first weeknight first-time homebuyers workshop. We've been having these first-time homebuyers workshop through the Community Development Department on Saturdays for a number of years. And one of our Jewish brethren suggested we do a weeknight event for those who can't attend on Saturdays. And I think our community development director was a little worried that we wouldn't get the turnout. The place was packed. So he was very happy, we're very happy. We want people to be able to achieve the dream of home ownership, and we want to help them get there. Finally, I want to remind everybody that next Wednesday morning, the Prosecutor's School Safety Task Force will release its best practices for schools to prevent and deal with school shootings and crises. That will be at the Prosecutor's SNAP conference. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder Amoroso. I'll give my report now and continue with our commitment to providing savings for the taxpayers of Bergen County. Tonight, the Freeholder Board has approved a shared service agreement with the Borough of Emerson to provide use of the county's street sweeper, as well as for vehicle maintenance and repair services, all at a reduced cost to Emerson and revenue producing for the county. I continue to talk about shared service, and I'll continue to talk about it, because that's how we deliver a 0% increase here in Bergen County. In addition, we approved a shared service agreement with Passaic County, in which we will house juvenile offenders at Bergen County Juvenile Detention Center at a reduced cost to Passaic County and revenue producing for Bergen County. Both agreements are a win-win for our county. I'd like to take the opportunity to mention that beginning tomorrow, the moving Vietnam Wall will be open to the public at Columbus Park in Garfield. This impressive replica of the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C. is really something to see, and I encourage all of you to stop by and see it. I will also like to point out that the wall was prepared and installed entirely by volunteers of the Bergen County Carpenters Union Local 253. These men and women worked tirelessly through the rain and chilly weather to finish the job on time and at no cost. It's things like this that show you how vital organized labor is and how much they give back to our communities in Bergen County. Projects like this make me proud to be a member of a union and a labor leader also. It's incredible that the labor continues to answer the call for volunteerism throughout the county. And sometimes people give them a bad name, and I can't understand it. You have companies that come in here, they do their job from out of state, and they leave, and they do nothing to enhance the county. While all the building trade unions and all other unions in this county continue to improve the quality of life for everybody in this county, and I just want to say thank you to them. A few other things, Freeholder Voss talked about SEIU 32BJ. The rally was attended by myself and Freeholder Ortiz and Voss. And again, it's people fighting for a fair wage. And if you think that the people that are working at the Horizon House in Fort Lee are getting rich, no one there is making over $39,000, when the average income in Bergen County is well over 60.
Right.
So I think it's time that it's time to say enough. It's time that people get paid a fair wage. And I hope that anyone that's watching this that lives in the Horizon houses will come out and support the men and women of 32BJ. It was mentioned about the alternative to domestic violence tonight. It was the 40th anniversary. Well, the county honored the employees with a luncheon. But a luncheon can't really acknowledge all the hard work that gets put in to programs like the alternative to domestic violence. David Cohen and his staff do a great job. And I said there that day when we were presenting proclamations, those are the people that make it happen, all the people that work in that department. Just know that Bergen County and this Freeholder Board, along with our county executive, will continue to fund programs like this so that people that need help can get help. I believe that's our main job in government, is to make sure people that need help can get help. Freeholder Ortiz mentioned the art in the park. I was very honored to hand out ribbons to all the winners. It is amazing to see the art that comes through that park every year. I've gone there every year since I'm a freeholder, and every year I'm still amazed at the art that comes through there. When a guy like me can draw a stick figure, and that's about it. So, congratulations to the Urban League of Bergen County on their 100th anniversary. Congratulations to Brian Henning again, who was sworn in tonight. And I will end on happy Sweet 16 to my lovely daughter Jaden, who never ceases to amaze me. I want to wish her a very happy birthday. And that concludes my report. Thank you. There being nothing further to come before this meeting, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are adjourned at 8:57 PM. Thank you.